Welcome in, everyone, to episode 242 of the Twastell podcast. I'm your host, Peng. I'm joined with HurricaneKaz, Twastell, and no PvP Steve, so no Kaz's Corner finale yet.
Oh my god. Kaz's Corner isn't real. Like, it's just a myth. It never really happened. And if you think it did, then you have your own set of issues.
Kaz, at least your segment happens more than mine, so.
It's true. Professor Tristan has to go back to school, apparently.
Classes out, yeah. Anyway,
sabbatical.
There's a lot to talk about today, so my apologies. I'm also eating lunch at the same time because I'm on a tight schedule. I have to pick up my mom from the airport right after this, but I'll try to mute myself when I'm eating. So
I wanted to record with Caleb's mom, but he shot that down.
I know. Well, no, Tristan, both of us did. We were
Y'all
both
don't
like,
even know my mom. What if she's like,
I don't care,
an awful person and terrible to talk to, huh? What if that was the case?
Well, I hope not.
Well, then she probably wouldn't be visiting you.
What do you mean? Like, I'm sure there are, difficult parents that also visit their kids. It's not like no, she's
Anyways.
great, but her favorite Pokemon Snorlax.
That's all we need to know.
So are you doing any of the LA Go tour then, or no?
I am. So I told, because my park day is on Saturday, so I'm going on Saturday. And then one of my locals from Atlanta's in town as well, but he doesn't have the Saturday park day, so he wanted to see if I can meet up with him at like Santa Monica on Friday. I was like, I could take my mom to Santa Monica, and then like walk around there after I do the trade with him, right? And then Sunday, because I have the city pass, so I'll still be playing on those days. Sunday, I think we're like meeting up with a family friend for like lunch or dinner or something. But
you can just run the Go Plus in your
exactly.
pocket
That's my thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So,
are you doing that like Mega Night thing or whatever?
I don't. I mean, I could buy the add-on still, but I don't think so. Like what they release, it's like Mega Victory Bell, Mega Malmart, maybe Mega Dragonite, but like, I heard something about like a Mega rework. But I don't know like how official it is, or it was just like some
beats I've seen. Our agenda for the week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about
we'll
that.
Get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I heard it's not like that important. But speaking of agenda, let's talk about what people probably want to really hear about, and that's a PP update. And
finally,
this one's pretty big. So we got a post on the 17th, so 2 days ago. Says strengthening the foundations of Pokemon Go trainer battles. You'll want to read this all yourself because there's a lot to it. But there's
a lot of like details about like how things are supposed to work post update. So like, and we can cover some of the main points, but like it's good to read it yourself just so you can like really take it in and understand like the specifics of like what they're saying in terms of like, because some of the mechanics and like the order of the way that things work is going to be changing. So it's good to read it so that you like fully understand like what they're saying in terms of like how things are going to be going moving forward.
And it's really detailed too. Like it's a very long post, which I think in my mind was like way more than I was hoping or expecting, I should say. I kind of thought it might just be like, hey, we're making some changes. Yay. But this is actually quite in depth. So, I mean, good for them.
For all the people that complained about the deletion of the dev diaries, I feel like this probably makes up for it, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
It makes up for, I think, exactly one dev diary.
Yeah. No, but it's a great post. I know some YouTubers probably made videos to explain it in detail. Myself
some
included.
YouTubers.
Dude, the thing that like annoyed me was Dijon was asking all these questions about like, wait, how's this work? I was like, dude, I made a whole video on this like 7 hours ago. You could just watch it. And I explained every one of your questions. But long story short, we'll do like a brief overview of what things will look like. The actual like new update is not out for everyone yet at the moment that we're recording this, unless it dropped like for me in this morning. I haven't played yet, but I know it's not out for me. At least I think it's mostly out for people in LATAM.
I think I've seen some posts. I think it's like some people in Asia, I think, might have it now.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know. I've like there's been some people from like North America that have said they have it, and
Dude,
like
I think these people
maybe
just
they
don't know mechanics. Like I haven't seen evidence of anyone from North America with it.
like maybe they have it, but maybe they don't. Like beyond like the mechanics being different though, one of the easiest ways to tell if you're on the update is because like the new update is live in like rocket battles and like if you battle against the team leaders. One of the
Mhm.
easiest ways to tell if you have the update or not is when you're battling, it'll show like the nickname of your Pokemon on the new update. But like the old version doesn't have that. So that's like a pretty easy tell to see if you actually have it or not.
Yeah.
And honestly, if the game feels clunkier, you probably had the new update actually. But that's intended. So okay, let me talk about what the major changes are, and then you all can like understand the importance of this. Um, so there's a community term called DRE, damage registration error. In my mind, I think it's a really poorly named concept because it's on the assumption that it is an error. But it's not. It's actually how the game is intended. It's just that it happens so infrequently that it seems like an error when it does happen, when it functions correctly. But essentially, what this is when you're trying to get. I mean, there's a few different scenarios of where this could occur, but essentially, what it is the damage from the fast attack, incoming fast attack, and the turn that you use to press your charge attack occurs simultaneously. And when that happens, charge attacks are always supposed to take priority over fast attacks. But the
Mhm.
majority of times, for most of us, it doesn't, and it's the other way around. That's why there's so many times where you probably play GBL. Like it probably happens like at least once a day where you get to your move at the very last second and you go down to the fast attack. You can't get it off at the very turn, right? Now, on this new system, that won't be the case. So damage will always resolve at the final turn of a fast attack. And so, like, Incinerate's a really good example. Like, usually, like on the old update or the old system, the Incinerate damage actually registers on like turn 4. It doesn't actually register on turn 5,
Mhm.
um, which is not how it's supposed to act. And so because of that, you can't get a charge attack off because charge attacks do take priority over fast attacks, right? Another
Right.
great example of this is let's say you have a move loaded and you're at 1 or 2 HP, and someone comes in a 1 turn fast attack user, like a Dragon Breath user. Boom, you get taken out before you throw the move. That should never happen, right? Or that
And
should
then
not.
yeah, and
No,
in the new update, you
yeah,
will be able to get off
you'll
that
be getting
charge
that
move.
move off. Yeah.
So that's a pretty big
Mhm.
change because
Mm-hmm.
like again, consistently it's been that one turn move can take it out. So like strategically, people will often come in with that one turn move to
Yep.
just like delete the energy, right? And so that's going to be a big change. Um, so yeah, like yeah, the fact that you always get off the charge move first before the fast move is a big one. And then the other thing, kind of related that Caleb mentioned with Incinerate, how normally like the damage applies on turn 4, but now it'll always apply on turn 5. It's pretty
Mhm.
significant because like right now, say you lead like a Shadow Caesar into a Talonflame, if you do 2 bullet punches and then swap out, you almost always end up taking that incinerate damage on your Shadow Caesar. But
Mhm.
going forward with the new update, you can do 2 bullet punches and then swap in to like a Milotic or something, like a water type, and then you'll have the energy on your Caesar, but you'll take that incinerate damage on like a resisted, water type or dragon type or whatever you're switching into.
Mhm.
Um, so that's actually going to be like a pretty big change in terms of like how that plays out. Like usually in like that lead matchup is where that's like most important because now you can get those, you know, 2 fast moves worth of energy and then swap out without taking any damage on like a 5 turn move.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, so here's so what Tristan's saying is damage transfer, right? That's an aspect too. And then, of course, if you swap on a charge attack, obviously you'll end up catching the move, right? So the order, I guess, the order of priority of like when things happen at the same time goes like this: swaps, then charge attacks, then fast attacks. That's the order of things. So because of that, charge attacks. This is like kind of like a more rare situation that, I mean, it does happen, but if it impacts your matches, it's like, a little bit less common, but it could. Let's say you throw a move that debuffs you, right? Let's say you throw like a Brave Bird or something at the same time, like a Smackdown's coming through. Because the charge attack now is taking priority over the fast attack, whereas in the current system, like the old system, that wasn't reliably the case and rarely was the case. If you debuff yourself with a Brave Bird, that Smackdown that came through right when you threw it, technically because it registers after the charge attack now, you actually take increased damage on that Smackdown,
Right,
right?
but on the flip side, if you throw an Icy Wind, you'll be taking less damage from the
Exactly.
fast move that
Yeah,
comes
yeah, yeah.
through.
Yeah.
So
So that's
again,
just
it's
something to
just
keep in
like
mind, right? That's
yeah,
not like it probably won't change the way you play too much, because most of the time you want to throw on proper timing anyway. But there's something to be aware of, um, especially because like usually it's not like the fast act that takes you out, right? So that's not like
yeah.
Yeah.
like
And and then another thing that they said is going to be fixed is um like currently there's been a problem mostly with one turn moves. So we're like, say two people are using Dragon Breath users. Like say it's like, I don't know, a two shield like Shadow Dragonite matchup, and you're just like Dragon Breathing all the way through. You should both simultaneously knock each other out, but in the current system, normally one of the Dragonites ends up surviving while the other one gets knocked out by that last Dragon Breath. And it's just like a coin flip pretty much. But in the new system, there will be consistently those simultaneous knockouts when applicable.
oh.
Mm-hmm.
One other big change is also zero turn swaps. So for those that typically when you swap in the middle of battle costs one turn, right? They have something called force swap, which does something called turn. Force swaps, like I don't think anyone even considers it a swap, but it's like when you get Pokemon KO'd, you have to choose one of your two Pokemon or to come in with. Well, it's obviously not going to cause a turn, right? Because just putting it back on the field, but that's just considered a force swap. So that doesn't cause a turn, which is consistent with how it is right now. Unless you come in a turn late, but that's just like a lag thing, right? And then but zero turn swaps is when you throw a charge attack and then you swap. It'll cost you zero turns. Now, the problem is when you throw a move, when your opponent throws a move and you try to swap, but you were just throwing fast attacks, you don't always get that zero turn. It depends on the situation, right? So if you're using one turn move, yes, you always get the zero turn right now anyway. But before, let's say you're using like I don't know, you're like in 3 turn versus 3 turn, right? You're still throwing, let's say, your Snarl at the same time that they're throwing the charge attack. Charge attack costs 1, Snarl costs 3. So essentially, the way the game is coded is that you're still in the middle of throwing that Snarl. So even though you won't be like 2 turns behind when they swap, but when they do a 0 turn swap, it'll cost you 1 turn to swap. Why that's important is let's say like you both swap to a Ferret, right? Obviously, the Ferret that gets to the Swift first is going to win that head-to-head matchup. And they'll always be a turn ahead, which means they'll always reach that Swift a turn before you. Or one Sucker Punch before you, I guess. So, so now in this current system, in this upcoming new system, all swaps after any charge attacks, whether you throw or your opponent throws, it will be 0 turns. And that's why I said earlier, like if the game feels a little bit clunkier, that might be why. The reason why is because after you throw a charge attacks, it seems like everything's paused for a second. It's not as fluid. And essentially what the game is doing is it's catching everyone up to the same turn so that you both could go for that 0 turn swap. So I think visually and like, fluid wise,
Like feel wise, yeah.
the
It
new
like
battle system
feels
won't feel
worse,
as good.
but it'll be more consistent.
It'll be more consistent. Everything will work as intended.
Which
So
like
that's the
I
hope.
feel like is a worthwhile trade-off. Like I think
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
biggest complaint that most people have is like how inconsistent some of these mechanics are, and it's like, oh well, sometimes you have DRE or not. Sometimes you have a zero turn swap or a one turn swap, and like it's so inconsistent that like people get frustrated because they feel like they're getting like screwed over by the mechanics, and it's like, well, if the game just functioned the same way every time, then like I would know exactly like what to expect, especially like from high level players. They want that consistency. So like again, it might not look quite as nice perhaps, but I feel like that's a worthwhile trade-off just to have a game that's functioning consistently and just working better.
And arguably, increasing the consistency means that more people should be able to consistently perform, right? Like to learn this new state of play because it is more consistent. It doesn't like, because I know I would always get a little frustrated with like 3-turn moves that would trigger, like damage would trigger at different times, right? Um, and so now that everything is rolling out more evenly across, in theory, across like different phone servers, whatever, it becomes easier for the players themselves
Right.
to adapt to that consistency.
Well, and the other big thing too, honestly, is how detailed the blog post was because
Hmm.
huge props to Niantic for this one. But like the fact that they like spelled out like what these mechanics are and how they're supposed to work and like the
Hmm.
order that things are supposed to happen because like until now, we haven't really had anything officially saying that. We've sort of just been guessing based on what we've seen and what happens most frequently and assume that's the intended behavior. And it's like, it's also not a good way to, for newer, like, how are newer players supposed to figure out, like, what the mechanics are supposed to be, right? Like, they have to, just hope to find people that have been playing the game a while and have it explained to them. So like having that like officially spelled out, I think is a big deal too.
Yeah, I mean, each section that it's like, because it's broken down into sections for kind of each thing that's changing, and each section outlines almost exactly what the new expected behavior is and what this means,
Yeah.
right? Which is so great for anyone who is looking for a way to actually like understand these things that doesn't fully understand it already.
Honestly, it's so nuanced that like that's why I made a video to explain it, because like if you read it, you might be confused like what does this even mean, right? But that's because it goes so advanced mechanically that some people that aren't as mechanically aware of certain things like might not know how it is, or like they don't use like community or colloquial terms, right? They don't say
Hmm.
zero turn swap. They don't say DRE, right? In this blog post. So some people don't like know like the way they're like explaining this is like, what is a force swap, right? Because no one ever
Hmm.
calls it a force swap, right? At least no one
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
right? No one calls it a quick swap or like a what do they say? They say quick swap. Yeah, no one calls it a quick swap. They just call it a regular swap, right? It's either a swap or a zero turn swap. That's usually what people say. That's it, right?
Hmm.
So, but it was good though. I mean, because like again, like I think it's fine. Like they have to use their official languaging, which is fine. Um, and I do appreciate they get nuance there. I will correct you, Tristan. Though,
But
not shout out Niantic, shout out Scopely. Niantic's in the past.
Is it though?
It is.
Because the
It's
game still
Niantic
says
don't
Niantic
own.
every time I open it.
Yeah, I don't know why Niantic doesn't own this game no more. I don't
Uh,
understand.
no, but Scopely owns Niantic.
yeah.
What? Scopely owns Niantic?
They bought that was the whole
No, 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 no.
acquisition.
No, no, no. They just
Niantic
no,
is
no,
still
no.
its own company. They just bought
Yeah.
certain of their like
Well, no, no,
some of their
no.
games. Like
Niantic.
Scopely is not Niantic's parent company.
Yeah. No, no,
Well, no,
no.
but Niantic itself basically split into two, and there was like Niantic like gaming or something is what Scopely acquired, and then there's like Niantic like I don't remember what the other one is called, but
Well,
like
it's
it's
Niantic Spatial is what they rebranded to.
yeah, so it's not like the old Niantic though.
Well, I know, but they don't own Niantic. Okay, okay. I'll give you
You
an
guys,
example,
you
right?
guys. This
I
is
used to
not.
use Sprints, right, for my telephone company,
Yeah.
right, for my phone plan. They got bought out by T-Mobile. It's I don't they there is no Sprint anymore. It's just T-Mobile, right? There is no Niantic anymore. It's just Niantic Spatial and then it's
It
Scopely, but
doesn't.
they're two
It
separate
doesn't
companies.
matter. It does.
No,
This
just
doesn't matter. Let's just focus on the.
I'm just clarifying for future sake, There is
I
no
don't know.
Niantic.
Niantic Health is still running.
Dude,
It
they
still
just need to
says
rename
Niantic.
some stuff. Like they just need to I think we're all where they need to rename some stuff. But there's no Niantic owns nothing of Pokemon Go no more.
Okay, so
No,
getting
but
back to the
Scopely acquired
oh
Niantic
my god,
Gaming,
you
which
guys.
is Niantic. Like,
But yeah, you understand that once you acquired it, it's no longer Niantic. They just took it. They just bought it out, right? They just own it
You are
now.
killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm explaining basic economics here, okay, Kaz?
That's not what this podcast is.
Anyway, so there was a dev interview that Axon did. So check out his video on his channel. With one of the devs, Ben Lee, and they discuss some of the stuff too. It's definitely worthwhile to listen. He Axon had some really great questions. Obviously, Ben couldn't share everything, right? Because some of the stuff might be like NDA or like not public information yet. But I thought Axon asked a lot of great questions on the matter. And
and it
one
goes
thing,
more in depth too. Like,
yeah, it was pretty in depth.
more details and stuff than like what could be shared in the blog post.
Right, yeah, it's just like 20 something minutes. And Ben mentioned he's tried playing this on his like old phone of like 7 8
yeah.
years, and he said he played it on 3G and the battle system still worked pretty well. So that's promising because obviously, like, everyone's not going to have perfect hardwired 5G internet, right? So but essentially this new system, it kind of catches up people even if they're like maybe lagging a little bit or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things, that's one of the points made in the blog post that I also wanted to highlight is that battles should continue even if one trainer disconnects, which I know is like has been a issue that a lot of players have experienced randomly for a long time, where like if someone just quits cuz they're upset at how the game is going, your game gets interrupted and you might even lose that because of like the state of the connection being poor. But now supposedly even if one player leaves, um, the battle should continue for the player that is still active.
Yeah, a lot of times when a player leaves, it just gets like the whole like every time you throw a charge attack, it takes forever to throw it, and then it
Yeah.
takes
Yeah,
forever to
but
bring them a Pokemon in.
yeah, but sometimes my game has just straight up disconnected when that happens, and
No,
I
no,
end up
yeah, but
losing.
usually when that happens, it's not because your opponent quit out. They're also disconnected. It's like a separate issue. They're like also disconnected
Yeah.
at the same time. Because I've seen that a couple times, and usually whenever someone I know like, did you DC too? I was like, dude, did you freeze as well? I was like, yeah, I froze too. Like everyone lose. It's like a lose. Right? But the big important factor besides just like the GBL like annoyance being resolved is that essentially what they're saying is that when there's a phone that's not putting in inputs, right? So because even if you're not disconnected, you could stop tapping, right? You could pause all this stuff. Sometimes visually nothing updates for you until you start tapping again. So things like pausing in the middle of a fast attack to avoid a catch is now a very viable strategy because that we make fun of Anacor, but like, I mean, he was making the right play, right? Like a year ago where he was facing Colin and he paused waiting for a poison sting to come through, and it never visually updated on his side. And it's not his fault, right? He went for the right play. It's just that the game didn't function well enough for that to update, right? And it wasn't,
Yeah.
I mean, and he couldn't dispute it because it's not like an intended mechanic, I guess, right? So like it's something you take at your own risk. But now you can reliably do that. So now you can pull off some more advanced gameplay and mechanics. On top of it, if you stop tapping, right, to avoid like and give your opponent some extra farm, but like mostly to like reduce the health of your Pokemon, right? Like you don't want to be locked into a bad matchup. Now that also is reliable because sometimes when you like stop tapping, it doesn't update and you just can't like you don't know what's happening, right? But
Yeah.
now you can actually do
Arrow's
that.
out here rejoicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just Arrow, but yeah, Arrow's one of them. Yeah. Yeah, because that happened to my world, so I can Spiel's a boy.
It's happened to
So,
Arrow like multiple times on
oh really?
stream.
Yeah.
Oh.
Arguably, he's the most visible example of this.
Wait, when else has it happened to him besides Worlds?
I don't know. There was like a few other times.
Yeah, there was once, wasn't it earlier this season, right?
I
Not
don't
at
know.
Worlds, but like
There's been a few times like a while ago. Like I want to say like I think that might have been like part of that like whole like Arlington thing. And like there's been a few other times he's been on stream where he's like tried to
yeah.
wait and it like hasn't visually
I
updated.
thought there was an instance also last year in Louisville, if I remember correctly, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's happened to Arrow quite a bit.
Cass's grand finals with Louisville. He just didn't wait against Lyle and
Well,
won the
yeah,
matches. But um,
Anyways,
I wasn't talking about that.
well, yeah. But that's the only one I could think of where I recall he purposely did not wait, and that's actually what cost him. But uh,
and then one of the other big things that Ben mentioned in that interview was that it sounds like all of the like battle stuff, so like PvP, but also, Dynamax and whatever, is like being moved to like its own servers, which they
Mhm.
think should help with the performance and stability as well. So that sounds like that's a good improvement too.
yeah, he alluded to something about how in his interview with Axon, how it's easier for them to fix certain issues now because on like some separate server or whatever.
Yeah.
So, because
I
this is
don't
something I've said for a while, right? Even on the podcast and just in general, I don't think like the devs are stupid and don't realize there's these bugs. I think it was just a hard fix, right? And
no,
they
no,
obviously
that's
were aware,
not
right?
that's not because of the servers. That's because they like basically rewrote the entire set of code is what he said. Like they just
Mhm.
completely redid the system, and so they made it with like it sounds like a better, structure and architecture that makes it easier to both like identify and fix bugs.
I thought they also said like they have a better grasp on this server because of it.
Well,
I might have missed that part, but maybe.
being on their
Either
own
way,
server definitely wouldn't hurt.
yeah. Either way, what I'm saying is they have much more better control over this current iteration of PvP than the last one. And I
Mhm.
think this might be part of it is that because Ben said it too, like he didn't start working at what used to be Niantic until like after PvP dropped. Because he said he was playing in some Sylph tournaments. He was like, he didn't like get recruited to, and he's like the main dev. So my guess is that there was already a code written before him, and that's the code that we're playing on. And then, what Tristan's saying is like, oh, if he had to rewrite the code, then he's finally on his own like new code, right? Because a lot of times, like, I mean, I'm not that much of a coder, but like, if you pass on the code and whatever from a past like developer, there's a bunch of random stuff in there that like you didn't write and you have to like deal with, right? You're dealing with the ramifications of it if it's poorly written. I think Sylph Arena was actually a good example of that. Like, I think the server cost of Sylph Arena was like hundreds of thousands of dollars per year because the code and all the data stored there was like really jumbled up and there's just no easy way to clean it up. Whereas like
Mhm.
PV Poke, for example, I don't think it costs them that much at all. Like maybe less than $100 per year, or maybe a few $100 a year to maintain the website and code and data on it because he's good at like offloading the data and stuff and not storing all this stuff on there and having to pay the price on it every year. He's like, owning the domain. Um, so that's a good example of like where, if the code is written well, it's no shit
Yeah.
on anyone that wrote the Sylph Arena code and everything. But again, like it's the reason why they had to close the doors because they couldn't fund the project no more, right? It wasn't like a free project. Um, and yeah, so
Well, and some of it too, I think, probably both with Self and with the original BVP code is like, it's not even like necessarily that it's like, I mean, it's probably not written the best, but part of it too is it's like, if you have different people working on it, and like, also it's like, you maybe make it just for one thing, and then you're trying to add in other things, and it can just get kind of, messy and convoluted.
mhm.
Um, and like, I know Ben mentioned too that like, it sounded like in terms of like them like coding and building Iggy Slash, it sounded like on the new system, it took them like half the time or less than what it took them to build it on like the old system. So like that's pretty promising too in terms of them like being able to, maybe make new features, um, maybe like other form change mods, stuff like that, that it is more complicated and time consuming. Having that be like a quicker turnaround is pretty exciting for who knows what we may be able to see going forward now with this new system.
Yeah, I think like the
Mhm.
main thing is even if it feels clunky and all that stuff, like the good news is we're on a new system and they can also change stuff down the road, right? So maybe it feels clunky now. Maybe a few months from now, it don't feel clunky anymore, and it still works as intended, right?
Right, because the new system should also be easier for them to like change and tweak
Yeah.
and stuff moving forward too, because it's just built better and
Hey,
it's a fresh thing.
maybe this is the solution we needed to be able to launch Swiss successfully. We have hardwired phones now. We have a new system that theoretically, things should work as intended. But also, I think this is really good for disputes because now if you're at a tournament and something happens, you could theoretically explain the order of operations, right? Let's say if something doesn't work as intended, they lay it out right there. Swaps come first, then charge tax, then fast tax, right? These are the priority things. You should get the move off. Like DRE, right? Should always be a thing. We need to rename that. I hate that name. Whoever named that, oh gosh. I mean,
I
granted, it's
think I
probably
heard it
someone that.
was. I think I heard it was though.
I mean, the thing is, like, Dope didn't know that it wasn't like intended, right? So I don't really
Yeah.
blame whoever named it either, because like we didn't know. Like it happens so infrequently that you would assume it's an error, but
Yeah.
it's actually not. But anyway, so that's the general gist. It's not out at this moment in time for us, but probably for some people in the world it is. So feel free to give it a shot and see. Again, it might feel a little clunky, but for the long term of the game, I think it's good. And this is honestly more of an update for the PPers that actually play the game a lot. This is not for new people because new people don't know the mechanics anyway, right? Some of these veteran players don't know the mechanics. Berto's like saying like, "Oh, I think I got a new update." I was like, "Are you getting DRE every time?" It's like, I'm not sure. It's like, well, what looks different, right? It's like, it just feels a little smoother. I was like, this is like definitely not selling to me because if anything, it should feel less smooth, right? I was like, you haven't PvP'd in months, like.
Where was it? I had read somewhere that you could tell if you had the update based on actually they like one little visual change is they changed it so that your Pokemon's nickname
Oh yeah,
is
that's what
like
Tristan
at
was
the
saying right
top.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the big one. It also like I heard that I think like the at like the really beginning of the battle, like when it first starts, I think it's like visually a little bit different. I think I heard like maybe the
Oh,
text is
a big
slightly
one
different.
actually. This is actually the easiest way to tell, because I don't know if they're going to keep the nickname thing or not. But Pokemon faints again. You know how we used to have faint animations like years ago, and they got rid of it. Well, it's back on the new system, so you can see a
Oh.
Pokemon faint out. I think it's at least the last Pokemon. I'm not sure if it's like the first two or not, but
Isn't the countdown different too? I thought I had read
That's what I was
that.
saying. I think
maybe,
the intro with the countdown and
yeah,
like the
maybe.
way stuff comes in, I think
But if you
might
see
be
a
different
Pokemon
as
like
well.
animate when they like faint, it's probably it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Because right now it's only live for some people, not everyone.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
gonna be a waiting thing. It was like announced that like it sounds like it's gonna be like rolling out like on like obviously not everyone has it, but it's gonna be coming out on like a rolling basis throughout the month of February. So like the
mhm.
next week or so.
Literally one more week.
yeah.
Though who knows, maybe it'll actually take longer than that because it's like if it's only like out for like LATAM and maybe a little bit of APAC now, it's like you still have like the rest of APAC, Europe, North America, etc. So
Yeah, I mean, I do get that, like many things in this game, they want to kind of roll it out to make sure that things are going smoothly as expected. But at the same time, especially when there's so many people playing GBL at any given moment, like
I
it's
mean,
kind
it
of
is an
frustrating to know
interlude
that.
season for a reason, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So maybe there's less people playing than usual, but still, it's kind of like I wish there were a way that we were all on the same could be on the same system at the same time, but
Yeah,
alas.
I just don't know like what sort of like logistics and like technical aspects go into a rollout like this, and like it
Mhm.
probably just wasn't feasible for I don't know what reasons, but
Yeah.
um so
No,
we'll
I
just sort
get
of
it.
have to wait and see. And like I heard
Me
there.
wishful thinking.
And the thing too is like again, there's gonna be growing pains and bugs. Like I've heard there's been some like weird bugs on the new system with like stat changes and stuff.
Hmm.
Like I heard like there's been times where like people have thrown like say a brave bird and then like swapped, and because of the way the order of things happens, they like transferred the like defense drop to their next Pokemon or something weird like
That's
that.
been
So
fixed. Yeah.
okay,
So
but it was a thing for a hot minute. So like again, there's
maybe
gonna
like
be
a little minute, but yeah.
Enough for someone to be like, look,
Yep.
it's all
Yeah.
broken.
But that's again why we do have the interlude season. So I'm glad that we do see that come to fruition, and hopefully it'll be good. Um, we'll see how it goes. I mean, on the competitive side of things, like it might look a little janky at times, but as long as everything's working well, that's fine with me in my mind. But
Yeah. I mean, again, consistency is only going to make the actual play Pokemon regional and special event experiences like better for players.
Dude, imagine no disputes anymore. Like
there's
outside
no
of maybe someone like okay, I can see a situation where someone maybe doesn't fully understand mechanics and dispute something, and the judge explain why it should happen how it is. That's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that, especially because not everyone's going to know. But I think I think that would probably be like the only situation. I feel like assuming everything goes to plan.
Oh, I mean, what? Like people are still gonna have like general lag and stuff. Like there's still gonna be.
You think at regionals if they're hardwired to the phone? Because the
Maybe.
way that Ben sold it, he's saying like he could play smoothly on a 3G network. So unless the Wi-Fi of the building gets out, right? Which is obviously
he said I mean, but he also said that like there's
always the possibility for latency.
There is. I think it's pretty rare though, assuming that everything is hardwired, right? I think it's technically speaking, I think it should be pretty rare unless the actual like infrastructure of the Wi-Fi in the building like just craps out.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I don't know, we've had plenty of times like at like regionals and ICs and stuff where there's either been like issues with the Wi-Fi or like especially on stream, like sometimes like the phones have issues. I don't know if they're like overheating or like being used for too long or something, right? And sometimes they have to like swap out the phones because like one of the phones is having an issue or something. Like I think
but that's not like a dispute though. That's a tech issue, right? Like that's something that they just try to fix tech wise.
But sometimes that's happening because one of the phones is lagging or having frame drops or other issues. Like I think saying there's gonna be no disputes is like pretty optimistic.
Okay, it's not absolute, but minimal, right? Okay, I'll put it this way: how many disputes have we had this season that were related to like hardware?
I don't know. I'm not tracking this.
Sure.
Well, but we don't really see too much of it, right? Like at least, like I think it's if anything, it's like like it's I lagged or I lagged because of like some bug thing, right? But I don't think it's I don't know. Maybe there's not a metric on it, but what I'm saying is theoretically it should be a lot less. It should be
theoretically,
a lot less.
yes. There should.
It should only be related to the actual venue and stuff, right?
Yeah. But I mean, there's always going to be a risk of latency. I mean, that's what Ben said. In the
I understand that concept. So, like, I know. Yeah, I'm very well aware of that concept.
So, like, there's always going to be an opportunity for someone to, have a reason to call a judge over.
Like I think at least based on what I've seen at least broadcasted events, it's very rare for someone to be like, "Oh, I lost Wi-Fi and that's why I couldn't finish out the match." Like in the past year, the times I remember that happened was Berto versus Eomero at NAIC, and that's literally it. Everything else related to actual like game bugs, right?
Well, yeah, it's gotten. I mean, if you look at the entire history of Go competitively, like it's gotten a lot better over time. And this should like even before this update. So there's no reason to think that it won't continue to get better. I'm just saying, like Tristan,
I understand. There's
count
always
your
a possibility.
Eggs before they're hatched.
There's always a possibility, right? But if the whole Wi-Fi goes down, like then like VG can't play either, right? Like that's like a universal thing, right? But but I think this will be because the thing is like if that's the only inhibiting factor, Wi-Fi goes down for everyone. If you intervene in a Swiss bracket, no one can finish their matches, right? So that's like not a. Oh my gosh! Look at this Gligar I just caught. What the heck? Look at this Shadow Gligar.
If only it were
13, 14. Huh?
If only it were relevant.
Hey, don't count it out yet. It is not that
It is
great.
almost time for a new season.
Well, it's ranked 4 for Little Cup, but anyway, yeah. So that's the thing. That's the update. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well, but we won't know for sure.
I will say, like, I do compliment how thorough the blog post is, but I do look forward to, once we have like the system implemented, like more visual examples for, just for my own edification as well.
I think so too. I will say though, if we have Swiss, things do change for a lot of records and stuff, but for Pokemon Go, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, let's talk about other events, because there are actually things to cover as well that are happening. So we have Road to Kalos. That's an event that starts next week, after the Kalos in-person tour. The global is the following weekend, I believe. So Pikachu wearing Red's hats, Leaf's
Monday,
hats, Ethan's
February
hats.
23rd.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, February 23rd.
12 a.m. to Friday, February 27th.
Yeah, so the event is Monday through Friday, and there's like basically a separate like mini event each day, like one per region basically. So it's like Monday you have Kanto, Tuesdays Johto, Wednesdays Hoenn, Thursdays Sinnoh, and Fridays Unova. So there's just like basically a mini event each day with like different spawns and different raids and stuff. Is like the general gist of it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of Pikachu wearing different hats.
Yeah, it's like hats of like people from like those regions or whatever.
Yeah.
If you care about those, like just check the blog post. I don't even know.
Do you have
like
any special evolve things? Because there's featured attacks, but maybe not special evolve ones. So on Monday, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres know their exclusive moves: Hurricane, Thundershock, Sky Attack. Hoenn, Kyogre, and Groudon know Origin Pulse and Precipice Blaze. That's kind of big, actually. Are these primal forms in raids?
Yes.
Oh, they are. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good, actually. That's really good. Especially because we have always some type of mega Master League these days. Sinnoh, Origin, Dialga, and Palkia will have more time in Space Run.
No,
but it's
we'll
a chance.
Have a chance.
It's a chance, as always. It's not guaranteed.
I was gonna say, hold your horses, sir.
I just hate that it's a chance for starters and you can't Elite TM. Like, bro, pick one or the other, right? But having both is rough, because you can't you get 100% and you can't
it's pretty.
You can't even TM it. Like, you can't even spend the money to do it. It's kind of a frustrating thing.
I mean, now that they've been available,
dude, they're tripling down on this.
Times.
They're quadrupling down.
This is
like the fourth time we've had it. Yeah,
it's also frustrating because it's like I still need a better Palkia, but it's like a lot of people don't have ones with the move left anymore because they've traded all the ones they got.
Oh no, I have a bunch who still with the move.
I know, but a lot of people I'm lucky trading with are out.
Well, lucky trade with me. I got you.
Maybe I will when I see you in Seattle.
Yeah. I'm not trying to hit that Forever Friends before we get that lucky trade through. I guess you could just not do the Forever trade, right, and do a regular trade to save the Forever trade, or the remote trade. I don't know how that works.
Wait, what are you saying?
So you know how if we hit Forever Friends and we get that guaranteed remote trade?
Yeah, you can.
If we do a regular trade instead, it won't trigger that, so we could just save it for later, right?
What?
Yeah, a regular trade is an in-person trade.
Yeah.
It
will just get rid of the lucky aspect.
There's two separate
buttons.
There's
2 trade buttons.
Okay. Well, I haven't pressed the other one before, so I don't know. I don't know how it works. I haven't done a remote trade yet. I don't know.
You hit one button and
you would think that's how it should work, but you never know. Okay, Friday. Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem learn Fusion Flare, Fusion Bolts, Glaciites.
Glaciate is only a chance.
Yep.
Why is that only a chance? I don't really understand that. But that's annoying too, because you need it to evolve it, right? You need
Glaciate. But Elite TM.
At least
you can Elite TM it, but it's just why is that a chance though? Why not just make that guaranteed too?
Because they want your money. They want you to use Elite TM.
Well, do they want my money or not? Because they don't want it for the Dialga and Palkia, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed messages. All right, we got a bunch of background stuff. You can read through that, but they're all the background relate to the actual games, like Diamond and Pearl for Dialga Palkia, black
Well,
and white
And
for
then also
the
just to
Kanto.
backtrack for a sec, in terms of the
Oh.
raids, so like there's Pikachu's every day with different costumes,
Mm-hmm.
but then Monday is Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, like we said. Tuesday is Shadow Lugia and Shadow Ho-Oh. Then Wednesday is the Primal Groudon and Kyogre. And then Thursday has regular Dialga and Palkia as well as Origin Form Dialga and Palkia. And there's some sort of like hour rotation thing for those. And then Friday is Reshiram, Black Kyurem, Zekrom, and White Kyurem, and there's some sort of a like rotation for those as well.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Anyway, this was random garbage from 2 kilometer eggs. Nothing too worthwhile. Event bonus: half egg hatch distance, and remote raid pass will be increased to 30 from Monday to Friday. No remote raid limit on Saturday and Sunday on the actual global tour days. And there's that time research and other stuff. There's a go pass thing. You could just read through that if you want to get it or not. Okay, so
And there is
yeah,
a free pass as well. It's like a
yeah.
Road to
Mhm.
Kalos when it starts on Monday and it goes through Sunday.
That's pretty much that event though. So if you're not playing in the in-person one this upcoming weekend, you'll have plenty to do in the upcoming week leading up to the global, which there should be plenty to do in the global as well. I personally am glad that I'm playing the in person because global is during Seattle, so and I will be at Seattle, which is honestly not a bad place to play, but it might be a little bit more limiting than going out and about. All right.
Oh, and one thing to note real quick is with the Go Pass. Oh, this is the deluxe, but it looks like some of the tiers you end up getting like additional candy and XLs from doing raids, as well as like 2 times hatch candy. Um, so the Go Pass is and on tier 3, the Go Pass also gives you like 2 times hatch Stardust and 2 times stars from completed raids. So like I feel like again, everyone can make their own decision, but I feel like this Go Pass is maybe more worth it just for some of those extra bonuses if you're going to be playing a lot. Um, and it's also again, if you're going to get it, like it's like because a lot of the Go Passes you can wait till you get to like rank 100 or whatever and then decide to buy it. But this one has like extra in-game bonuses as you like rank it up. So it's one that if you're gonna get it, it makes more sense to get it right away and to try to like rank up as quick as you can to like take the most advantage of those extra bonuses.
No, Tristan must be getting commission from promoting this Go Pass every week.
They've been doing that pretty consistently, I
Yeah.
think, with the sort of tiers. Because I think that they do want you to buy it earlier. Like they don't want you to wait until the last minute, or they don't want you to like be hinging it on some kind of special encounter. They're like, no, 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 we'll reward you even more if you get it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not falling for your tricks.
Spend your money how you like. Okay, so Mega Rework. Let's take a look at this because it is potentially big. So Mega Evolution update overview. So obviously how Mega's working right now is one thing, but Super Mega Raids are a brand new type of Mega Raid in Pokemon Go. You'll need to
And it's
band
such a
together
ridiculous
with
name.
at least 7 other trainers to take on exceptionally powerful Mega Evolved Pokemon. Using a new link holder, collect and use link charges to enter Mega Raids, including Super Mega Raids. Continue to Mega Evolve your Pokemon to reach new heights at newly discovered Mega level Super Max. Okay,
This is
what the heck
so
is...
complicated.
Yeah,
So
What
so...
they just
silly.
like
Okay.
made up all this extra terminology and they're like adding new items to the game just to like make this like convoluted system.
Hey, man, it's a forever game, man. Yo. We gotta make it forever complicated. Okay, so what are Super Mega Raids? Brand new type of raid. These are obviously more difficult. And while these may be tough, successfully defeating them will yield substantially more rewards than standard Mega Raids, including more Mega Energy. So how are they different? They become more enraged, puts up shields. They can throw up shields, really. Reduce the
Mhm.
amount of damage it takes from normal attacks, and blah blah blah. Once opposing Pokemon gets enraged, activates the shield, Mega Evolve from your blah blah blah. Okay. I don't know. It's for the most part it's the
Basically,
same, but just harder.
They've just added. It's like the same but extra steps.
Okay, so how do you get into it? So you need something called link charges on top of a raid pass, I think. So can we use a new type resource called link charges? Depending on where you're taking part in the raid, you'll be able to use different resources to enter the battle. You'll join a raid or super mega raid locally. You can use link charges or a premium pass to enter. Okay, so you don't need a premium pass. You don't need both. You just need one or the other.
If you're in person.
If you're in person, you can switch between link charges and raid passes for in-person only. Remote super mega raids will always require both.
Well, they say in general, you'll get much better value by using link charges for in-person standard mega raids compared to premium battle passes. What? Mm-hmm. I'm so confused. In-person standard mega raids? Do they mean standard super mega raids or mega raids? Because that's like why are we talking about mega raids when we're talking about super mega raids?
Where on the page are you even?
Second paragraph of how do I enter mega and super mega raids, and the second line of it. In general, you get much better value. Like, what does that even mean? Why would you even use a link charge for a regular mega raid? It literally says standard mega raid too. It doesn't even say super, right?
Yeah, I think that.
Okay, so anyway, if you join remotely, you have to use.
It's only talking about the mega raids. So this is basically something you can use.
No, I understand that.
It's rechargeable, so like you can use that instead of a premium battle pass in person.
So you should just use link charges instead of a premium battle pass, even in person mega raids, non super mega raids.
Yes.
I think so.
You can charge it out
because again, it's like a
resource.
refillable thing, you know, like the link holder is the object, and then the link charge is the thing that you can like fill it with. So it's kind of like a new form of currency specifically to do mega raids.
I think it's kind of given, but I guess like they don't explicitly say it in this part at least. Is they say in general it's better value using link charges for in-person standard mega raids. I assume it means it's also better value to use link charges for in-person super mega raids too, right? Because they specify standard mega raids, but they don't say anything about super mega raids. Anyway, let's get into the actual like nuances of. Or so obviously, if you're a super mega raid, you have to use a link charge and a remote raid pass, not just the remote raid pass. Increased chance of countering shiny Pokemon super mega raids. Pokemon called for super mega raids are more likely to have high attack, defense, and HP. Okay, so
it's easier to get a Hondo.
Yes, maybe more than just a 10-10-10, maybe a 12-12-12 if I had to guess, like based on if it's 11-11-11, that's pretty awful.
What's the floor on like mighty Pokemon? Because maybe it's like similar to that. I think that's
I thought 12, it was 10-10-10.
Right?
No, I think mighty Pokemon's like 14-14-14.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
How do we search by mighty? Is there a mighty tag?
I doubt it, but maybe.
No, there is. Well, maybe I could check because a lot of my mighty were big Pokemon too, right? I have a bunch, so I can see. Okay, yeah, I think it's 13-13-13 because all of mine have at least 13.
Okay, yeah, so the floor is probably either because Lucky is 12 and Mighty is 13, I guess. So my guess would be the floor is either 12 or 13.
I think it's 13. I mean, that's at least all the months I have at least 13 attack or 13 whatever. So
seems likely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what are link charges? They newly discovered energy source. You can collect them link charges using a link holder, which will only hold a certain amount of link charges at a time. You will receive a link holder in your bag automatically when you collect your first link charge. Please note that the link holder is a key item and cannot be removed from your item bag. Okay, well, how do you collect it? Best to collect this adventure with friends, old and new. You'll be able to earn link charges by completing weekly challenges, opening gifts from friends, and checking into select community meetups via Campfire. Link charges can also be purchased from in-game shop or stuff. Okay, so I mean, honestly, I think most people are just going to get them from opening gifts, right? Everything else, like you can do, but like it's a little bit less frequent than checking in community meetups and weekly challenges. You want to do it once a week. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. So I mean, it's like a new item, but it's not like too hard to acquire based on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see like what it might be like a low rate from like gifts though. Like who knows?
Yeah.
Because they're
And
probably trying to push people to like, do the weekly challenges, like check into
Mhm.
Campfire and buy them from the web store. So
yeah, yeah. Okay, so and then link charges. So obviously, if you do like a mega raid with just a link charge, it makes sense, right? If you don't have to spend a raid pass in person, because like you could refill
Mhm.
the link charge. I mean, you get a free raid pass every day too. So it's. I mean, I like that. There's a lot of free to play aspects to this at
and then
least.
it says, yeah, it's saying that like people doing the in-person Go Fest will get some free link charges as part of the like free Go Pass that's given during the
Yeah,
event. Um and then they're saying during Global Kalos Tour you can check into a community meetup on Campfire uh once per day on the 28th and yeah, so once each of the 2 days to get link charges as well. And then there's also going to be link charges in the Go Pass.
yeah.
And even it says in a significant amount more in the deluxe pass. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, it sounds like at least for this like first like week or so, there's going to be a lot of chances to get link charges from different Go passes and meetups and stuff like that. So again,
Mhm.
it might be harder to get them later on, but it seems like they're trying to make this a big deal for GoTour to get people to engage in this feature. So at least for this like next week or so, there should be a lot of opportunities to like get link charges and do these raids.
Yeah. And then of course they release a new aspect to the mega system, which is Supermax. So it's a new mega level. It's essentially the mega level after Mega 3. And what it does on top of the original bonuses is you greatly enhance CP, greatly increase catch candy, catch XP, and candy XL chance for catching Pokemon that share a type. I mean, honestly, the candy XL is probably the most important, right, for most people
Yeah,
grinding.
definitely.
Yeah.
And the Pokemon's rest period before it can Mega Evolve without Mega Energy decrease to 24 hours. Okay.
But
Um.
it says you have to use the Pokemon's Mega Energy to power it up.
Oh, so it's you just level it up manually. It's not like you can only do it once per day kind of thing.
It's unclear.
Okay, so you must use Mega Energy to uh, well, so you increase it to third level, and then before you can increase to Super Max, and then to help Pokemon reach Super Max, Mega Evolving alone won't be enough. You'll need to use that Mega Energy to up it.
Oh.
Participate in Super Mega Raids to earn lots of Mega Energy to help complete this task. We don't know exactly how much, but did see some leaks that said it was like a crazy stupid amount, which is
Ugh.
a little unfortunate. But
Why? Why? I mean, why
I mean,
make it any
why?
harder than it
What?
already is?
they're trying
Because they
to they're
want your
trying to
money, Kaz.
yeah.
Because
This ain't no
because the thing is,
non-profit.
because the thing is that they're making it cost a lot of energy, so you need a lot of energy. Now, the best way to get a lot of energy is these new, what are they called? The new super mega
Super,
late,
super
super
mega
mega
raid.
raids, right? So they want you to engage in this new feature, and the new feature, especially if you're doing it remotely, needs the link charges in the remote passes. So like, I mean, I agree. It's like a very like complicated and like convoluted system that seems like it's making like the grind like way more, and it's kind of annoying. But like, I get it from a business standpoint, even though it's annoying.
Like I mean, and I felt this way playing some of the main series games too. It's like I'm fine with the grind if it's consistent enough. But the fact that they keep adding in all these little mechanics, all these little items that you have to use, all these new little things you have to do all the time, it's like I can't I literally this game cannot be my whole life. Like it cannot be. So
Wow.
please stop trying to make it happen.
It might be. It might be at this rate.
I
Um,
mean, I feel like at this point, like there's so many like features and aspects of the game that you sort of have to like pick and choose what you're interested in. Like I know personally I've mostly like tuned out and not really done a lot of like Dynamax, Gigantamax stuff because I'm just like
Mhm.
not interested. And like I know there's obviously a lot of people that play the game that, don't engage in PvP or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
it's sort of like because there's so much to do, you can kind of just pick and choose what's important to you. Um, and
Which
obviously,
I
like, uh,
appreciate.
and obviously us as PvPers usually end up having to engage in more features just to like acquire all the resources and things that we need.
Mhm.
Um, because like the Mega Threes for like getting XL candy is like already such a good bonus. So it's like I can't even imagine how good like the XL gains from a super max level Mega Pokemon. Also, this
Dude, you
terminology
be
is like
saying
so hard.
that. Yesterday, I was doing Solgaleo Raid Hour. Weather boosted Solgaleo on top of it. Had a Mega 3 evolved with the typing. Dude, I was getting like 3 XL candies or 4 XL candies with the level 3 Mega evolved weather boosted. I was like, bro, what is this? They like nerf it or what? Because that's like the minimum, right? Is to get 3. How am I getting
Yeah, I
3
feel
with
like
a Mega 3 and it's weather boosted?
yeah, well, I feel like I don't know. I feel like using them, you don't get as much just from like raids. I feel like you notice the XL grind a lot more during like if you're just like wild catching during like a Go Fest or a Spotlight
Yeah.
Hour or
Yeah, but I'm
something.
but I'm catching it though, right? Like every time it's like the candy I get when I catch it, not when I complete the raid.
No, I get that,
Yeah,
but I'm saying like you notice those because like in
because
a
I was
raid
looking at
hour,
every
you
single one of them afterward. I was like, bro, these are like
sure,
average of like 3 and
but
4.
like you did what, like 20 raids, 10 raids?
Enough that they should have been more than just 3 or 4 apiece.
I mean, but like the thing is like with the bonus like mega stuff, like it adds up a lot more like when you're catching wild spawns, like during a spotlight hour where you're maybe catching like a couple hundred Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like you see
I agree
those
with you, Tristan. You
bonuses.
notice it more.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I'm
also
definitely
I would say
noticing
that
it.
like definitely everyone is going to have their own way of playing the game. But I will say that like for something they want to be a forever game, they can't they shouldn't consistently rely on the same people spending money. They should be looking to increase the audience, and I think that adding convoluted stuff like this makes it harder for new customers to get into actually participating in a system.
Um, I don't know. It's hard to say. I know a couple people that recently got back into the game and they're loving it. So it is complicated, right? There's like a million. Like I know, like off the top of my head, like 3 people that recently got into this game in the past like month.
Yeah.
Um, but I think
Well,
it's just so much
Yeah,
going on that they don't like. They're just trying to do it all, right? But they're having fun with
right.
it for whatever
yeah,
reason.
no, no,
Sure.
So,
no, and that's
but
great.
yeah,
But I know people who have been playing this game for
yeah.
a long time who have become increasingly frustrated and have stopped playing.
Well, no, I know, but I'm not saying that's not correct. I was just saying, in response to like bringing in new people, I think it's not enough to turn off people. I guess newer players. It might turn off existing players, right? But
Mhm.
that could very much be a thing.
No, but there is just a lot. Like maybe it doesn't turn them off, but I've seen some people that are like, "Oh, like, I played the game before, but I quit like 2 or
Mhm.
3 years ago." And they're like, "How do I even get back in?" And like, "Can someone explain like
Yeah.
all these new features to me?" Like,
There's a
And it's
lot
like
to do in this
how
game.
much time do you have?
There's a lot to do. I
um,
don't hate it, Like I think I remember the days when there's not much to do, so like I don't mind. They add like the Gigantamax Dynamax thing. Like I went and like out in my local community, I actually did Gigantamax Meowth Day, and it actually wasn't like too bad. But I was just like, I don't usually do this, but screw it. I got nothing else better to do on a Sunday, so I'll hang
I
out with
will
my
say,
local and
I
do it.
do something that I have found that I enjoy is that I do actually kind of enjoy the challenge of the legendary Dynamax raid, not Gigantamax, but like
Oh,
the
you like it
well,
hard?
because you can only have four, so you literally do have to like really
Yeah.
communicate with each other and strategize, and that's actually been kind of fun to connect with some of my like friends that play remotely. Are
the main reason Kez likes those legendary Dynamax is most of them are legendary
Most of
birds.
them are birds. It's also true.
uh,
But I do, because a lot of the people that I actually played this game the most with in person have moved. Um, and I enjoy being able to like reach out and be like, hey, we can do this, and here's how we're going to do it, and communicating and strategizing with them. That's actually been pretty fun. You can't really do that with Gigantamax because you do need so many more people. Like even the Meowth Day, like I just did a few remotely and that was that. you know, and I didn't even have to really coordinate with anyone. I just like went to my friends list and I joined.
Yeah.
Which is
And
nice, but at the same time, it's not really creating a community sense as much as some other things.
for
Right?
sure.
Right, Mittens? Right.
And then one other thing is it says like there's going to be future updates to the Mega System, and they mentioned that you'll be able to use Mega Energy to quickly increase your Pokemon's Mega level for all levels. Um, so it sounds like you might not be stuck to the like you can only Mega evolve this like once a day to boost up the level. Maybe you can level it up quicker, which could be nice. Though presumably that'll take a lot more Mega Energy. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. It says the amount of Mega Energy required to level up will depend on how many times you've Mega evolved that Pokemon. The more times you've Mega evolved it, the less it'll cost.
yeah.
Um,
Which will be
but like
really nice if you're sort of if you have like a hundo that you've been consistently utilizing, you know?
yeah, or it'll be nice too, like if there's like I don't know a Mega that maybe is brand new or something that like the typings like match up for like an event coming up and like you don't have it as high of the level as you'd want it to for like the XL gains and the candy and whatever that
Mhm.
like you could theoretically maybe get it there quicker. I don't know. Um
Yeah. Well, your audio changed real quick, Tristan.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
weird.
Hold on.
Um. Okay. Well, let's move on. Because we have a bunch of other things to talk about. We can briefly talk about Love Cup, I guess. Uh,
If we must.
is there anything relevant there?
I
It says something about Love Cup whitelist.
yeah, so like I don't know what like it's so I don't understand like how Niantic functions because it's like the, the list of allowed Pokemon was like so out of whack. Like they were missing like any like red and pink Pokemon that have like been added to the game in like the last 2 years. But then it
Mm.
seems like they were also missing a bunch of like other random like legendaries and mythicals like because they like just added like Latias and Mew and Defense Deoxys and stuff that I don't think have ever been eligible in Love Cup before, but theoretically should have been eligible. Like Mew, I think has been around since like the first Love Cup and probably should have been allowed the entire time. So I'm just like, what are you guys doing? like like please figure out a better system for this because like it can't just be like a manual like adding things and then like you miss things or forget things and then you have to wait for people to like because like I saw people complaining on socials of like oh I can't use like Flamigo or Claw or whatever.
Cloth.
Cloth.
I haven't seen a cloth in my games, but I might just instantly quit out if I see one. Man, that's a big brain place right there. Can't be. Gotta lose to the cloth.
It's
Um.
funny people were joking that Love Cup is like USC plus Shadow Caesar because there's a lot of like
What?
licky licky and Milotic and Seeking
Yeah, it's
I
true.
guess so. Yeah, I was
and
running.
Ariados.
I was running Scrafty,
Oh,
Slowking, and what was my third?
I
I don't
definitely
necessarily
have Seeking
third.
and Licky Licky on my team.
Yeah, the Seeking is pretty strong though. I will say the movesets that people run are kind of all over the place.
Also, I'm
Soul Rock. I was
bringing
running Soul Rock. My team was definitely not a UIC team. The Soul Rock was. I mean, it's ranked number one. It's actually kind of not bad. You know,
I've seen a
it's
lot.
frail,
I
but
actually was very surprised. It learns Weather Ball
fire.
Fire?
Yeah,
yeah,
Why?
it's
because
for
it's
the
the
spam.
sun.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean?
What does
Right?
Lunatone get?
It
Weather
gets
ball
Weather Ball
ice.
Ice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it gets
Yeah,
cold
because
at
I
night.
I have I have a Wormadam Trash on my team, and I was like,
Oh
oh, Weather Ball, I
no!
can live that.
You
Like
did
Oh
what?
not read the
no!
GBL update a few months ago. No, for what it's
Because
worth, I faced a
when
Lunto in some other meta, and I was just like, "This is Weather Ball water, right?" And I get hit by super effective like ice Weather Ball. I think it was running like a flying dragon too on top of it.
Oh no!
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much Love Coat. But
yeah.
Well, we've seen this before with other sort of whitelist based metas, I think, in GBL. Like they don't always I wonder if that's something that they worked on the code for.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like getting the intern to keep the list updated.
Did someone press the button? What do you mean no?
Let's go Battle League this week, and then we have Open Great League, and then we have Megas next week to close it out of the last
Wait,
week.
we have Mega Master League
Next week, yeah. It's open like Great League, Ultra League, and then Mega Master League.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, right after the Mega Weekend, maybe we'll see some Mega Victory Bell in Malamar.
Mega Malamar.
Unlikely.
Our friend Malamar.
I will say Mega Victory Bell might have some play into the Kyogre, like the Primal Kyogre and Gyarados. Mega Gyarados.
I don't know if this are the stats like big enough though.
Not. There's no way. I'm just messing around. There's no way,
sir.
Only if you get it to Mega level 4.
Yeah. With the wait, hold on. Let me think about that. It says enhanced CP.
No,
isn't that kind of crazy though? Because if it's enhanced CP, wouldn't that make a difference in PvP?
But like,
isn't that pretty like?
But it's rarely allowed.
No, I know, but it's allowed literally next week. Isn't like anyone that has a mega, like a super max mega, like have a sizable advantage in PvP next week?
No.
I mean, why not? What do you mean no? If it has more CP, it wins every mirror match at a minimum, right?
Right. Well, but so the only thing I'll say is I think they said that so far only the Victory Bell and Malamar can get to the super whatever the heck. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
Did they say that?
I saw somewhere. I saw that. I think that to start, it's just those two.
Well, they didn't specify here.
But then, like later, I think more other Pokemon will be able to get to that higher level.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I don't know how much of a CP boost it is, and again, I don't think it'll be enough to make Mega Malamar and Victory Bell relevant. But it'll definitely make a difference in Mega Master League. That's for sure.
I heard someone told me there was like speculation that it was like a 2-level boost or something.
Dude, even half a level is significant. But yeah, 2 levels is pretty massive. Dude, you could flip some matchup with that for sure.
Which would be interesting too, because it's like, does that mean if you have a 2-level boost plus a best buddy boost, you have like a level 50, like a level 53?
Okay, so it shows how much energy you need. You need 5,000 energy to go to Super Max. So
5,000.
5,000. So
is that like from 0 to Super Max, or is that from like
no from
3.
Mega 3 to
from
Super
level
Max?
3
because they show it in the thing. I might regret making so much. Oh my gosh, I'm at 99 Gyarados energy. Why did I make so many Mega 3 Gyarados?
You better get walking.
Well, yeah, my Groudon's at 2,800. And then what's my Kyogre at? Because these are the ones that you'll probably want it. My Kyogre's at 2,600.
I found the section you were talking about, Tristan. It says near the very bottom, it says you'll be able to bring Mega Victory Bell and Mega Malamar all the way to Super Max level as soon as they debut. So it doesn't necessarily say those are the only ones that you're able to do.
Yeah.
It just says that you can do it as soon as they are in the game.
Yo, Mega Master League might be some real pay to win if it's launched next week, but hopefully not. I mean, there are like a bunch of like Primal Groudon and Kyogre are spawning, I guess, this upcoming week, so that's nice. But like to get to 5,000 Mega Energy, like you gotta be walking a lot for that Gyarados. I feel like that's not like something you get overnight.
Yeah. And I honestly,
this is how they get us to do Mega Raids again for things that we already have Mega 3s of.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, I'm chilling. I got Mega 3s. I have a little extra in case. Like, I'm good to go. And now it's
Mega
like
Master League every year. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be. I mean, I would want a Super Max like Groudon Kyogre eventually anyway, but like. The clock might be ticking if it's readily available. I hope not, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, they're in raids. They're in raids this week.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then
Yeah,
there's
we'll
Mega
find out.
Master
We'll
League,
find
so
out
you
tomorrow.
better
We'll
get.
find out tomorrow. It's Thursday right now. Yeah. Find out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a lot more to talk about though, so let's move on from Go Battle League. But yeah, that could be impactful for Go Battle League next week. Championship Series. We did have a tournament this past weekend, the biggest to date. UIC 2026. It was a pretty wild weekend, and
It was the biggest to date, but there was a lot of no shows.
yeah, I mean that'll happen right with any like
That's
big
gonna happen all
tournaments.
the time.
Yeah. Okay, so largest register to date, but also still largest in attendance, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it was bigger than last year, but
Yeah,
I think it was like, I don't know, only maybe like 10 or 20 people more
yeah.
or something.
So we had an all top 3 EUIC, which I'm sure the EU players are a fan of. TZ Steiner actually did take an invite though in that fourth spot. He already has his invite from Pittsburgh though, so doesn't really
I mean,
go anywhere.
Pato took an invite too because he already.
Well,
Yeah.
you just gotta assume Pato's taking an invite at every international at this rate. You know, his runs are pretty crazy. He's not only defended his EYC title from last year, a year ago, where he won it all. It was his best finish at international worlds prior, like since as well at that time. Then gets third at NAIC, second at Worlds, second at LAIC, and then another first at UIC. And the crazy stat line is he's made 5-day threes in a row.
Yep.
He's made 4 grand finals out of the 5. And I joked about this when I was co-streaming, but like that's not really my place to like rename someone's nickname. Like Colin Six is like he's called the final boss of Europe and stuff. But Potamon, in a sense, is actually the final boss, like of
Yep.
the entire world. like when you go to the biggest tournaments in any international worlds, this guy is there on that third day, and
Right.
oftentimes sitting across from me in the grand finals. Like it doesn't mean he wins it all, but like he's literally the final opponent you always end
Right.
up facing.
Well, and he also just got second in Birmingham as well. Like,
Yeah,
Oh my
sure.
God.
Yeah. He got second there. He got second against HK Assassin as well. It's funny though because Potamus actually only won 3 tournaments in his life. 2 of them were EUICs, but he has such high finishes though. It's crazy. Like it's still like
Every
arguably
time.
not
well, okay,
every time, but at an international level, yes, every time.
Yeah.
so
Since
here's
last year, yeah.
something else that's crazy though, right? So he's made 5-day threes in a row. If you look at those 5-day threes, there's not a single other player that has even made 2-day threes in that same time period.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah, because Marto did it at LAIC before UIC.
so
Yeah.
because
So
the last EUIC he won.
hey, that's a good stat
was,
line.
Yeah, so the
I use
last
that.
UIC he won was him, Zizweilis, and Koifier.
Yeah.
Then NAIC was him, Axon, and Ilum.
Yep.
Then Worlds was him and Beelzeboy.
Yep.
Then LEIC was him, Nighttime Clasher, and Marto. And then EUIC was him, Colin, and Hikami.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And like that's like if you look at that too, like that's such a stacked set of players, right? But not a single one of the other one of them made 2.
Crazy stat line that he's made 5 in a row, and not a single person has even made 2. Not even in a row, but 2 in that 5 span. The closest is Marto though, because he did LAIC like right before UIC last year, right? He just obviously like in the same span of time, no, but within like the past 2 seasons, Marto's the only one.
Right, sure.
But yeah, that's a pretty crazy stat line.
Also crazy.
I got some graphics I can make still, but like, I mean, I've already made a lot of bottom line. At a certain point, people
give us some of your other stat lines, Caleb.
Well, there were some great stat lines. Yeah, as I mentioned in the last episode, I did get to work. I mean, I enjoyed watching it and stuff too. And there's like so many cool stats that you can make. So I made a bunch this past couple of days, or like last
What are a few of your favorites?
Well, I didn't make that many, so maybe I could just talk about the ones I did do. So I did one where it was like day 1's versus day 2 appearance, in terms of like day 1 seeding versus day 2. So like how, like which groups like had the highest, like the top seeds made it to day 2, whereas which ones like there were like a ton of upsets. I thought that was pretty interesting, right? One player from South Korea was like a 31st seed made to day 2, which is like the lowest seed.
It was interesting. I will say it was a little, I don't know, at least for me, it was a little hard to like follow that graphic and the
Yeah, there's a
way he
lot of numbers on
presented.
there.
It was just hard to follow like what like it was interesting in theory, but the way it was laid
I
out
don't
was
know how
just
to
like really
present it
hard to
more
follow.
clean though. Is a problem because there's just not a lot of numbers, right? Maybe I could just done like just the 2 groups with the highest like seeds making it through and the lowest seeds making it through. Maybe I don't know, but because a lot of the data is I don't know. It is data heavy though, but yeah, that one's maybe a little harder to digest. But people seem to like that one for some reason. This one's easier to digest, but less people liked it. Is the spice rankings. So obviously it's like a limited meta, so everyone has mostly the same stuff. But um, 38 out of the 64 players going to day 2 had 6 out of 6 in the top 12 of the meta. So like they use like pure meta. The lowest 2 were Blissfully and 9 Alfie. They had 3 out of 6 in the top 12, which is pretty crazy because 3 out of their team was not even in top 12 usage is pretty high amounts, I would say. Obviously no one had 2, 1 or 0 in the top 12, but that was one, and then the other ones were mostly related to Potamon. So, his like just his historic run. The most amount of games he's played and matches in the matches win streak was kind of crazy. So he said, obviously, it's the largest tournament, so like that's part of it. But because he dropped in like winners round 3 and day 1, he had to play a ton of matches. So he played a total of 46 games in 18 matches, which is kind of crazy. And he also sets the new win streak in a row to 15 matches in a row, which is also nuts. But um,
That's just look like 15 matches in a row and what 17 match wins
18,
total?
18
Yeah.
Or
matches in total. Oh,
no,
17 match wins in
wins,
total. Yeah,
wins.
Yeah, 17
yeah.
matches, like games, and then
No, 17
35
matches. No, games is
games.
47, 46 games.
Because a match is like a
Oh,
best of 3 or a
Yeah,
best of 5.
yeah, it's 46 games total, which is a lot. It's quite a bit.
No
But
wonder he was cooking by the grand finals. He played
dude, he was warmed
so
up.
many
He knew
he
that
played so
meta.
many battles with his team.
He almost
so
played
many
the double
games.
the amount of games that Colin played the
That's
entire tournament,
insane.
which is kind of wild. Um, and honestly, yeah, I mean, and honestly, if the grand finals didn't go on for so long, then he probably would be pretty close to it. But they did go to
Hmm.
a game 5 in the bracket reset. Um, and then the other graphic I thought was kind of interesting is I compared like Shadow Ball users to Earthquake users in Licky Licky, and for the most part, Earthquake Licky Licky like outperformed, but not by much. But there also is a lot less Shadow Ball users, so like the data is like a little bit skewed in the sense that because there's more people that use Earthquake, the average finish of Earthquake users in the top 64 was lower than the top 64 players using Shadow Ball because there's just less Shadow Ball users. Um, but the Earthquake players tend to win more the head to heads against the Shadow Ball users, but not by much, like only like 6% difference. So,
Yeah.
but those are the main ones. I might make a few more on USC, but we'll see. I mean, things are starting to, you know, what do you call it? Fizzle out a bit for USC.
So what did you guys think of the meta?
I thought it was really good. At first,
It
I
was
didn't.
really
When I was
good.
playing GBL, I wasn't really a huge fan. I was like, man, this feels a little more RPS than LAIC. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, no, this actually is a really good meta. It's actually I actually like it more than LAIC. LAIC I felt like was slightly more RPS, not by much, but slightly, right? Whereas
Hmm.
this meta, it felt like it didn't matter what you swap to, you had play into everything, which was really nice to see. At least towards the later parts of the bracket, maybe like some teams were a little bit more RPS, but they kind of got fizzled out before you made it further into the bracket, I guess. But
Yeah, I
like
mean it was I thought it was crazy. Like Pato was like sometimes I mean he would get a shield advantage first, but he was like safe swapping Beedrill against Colin's double rollout team.
yeah, play.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, I mean, you just shield the rock slide or you just let the bison go and you're good.
Well, or a lot of times what he would do against Colin is he would like get a shield advantage in the lead, then swap his Beedrill, and then he would double shield his Beedrill against the Licky Licky.
Yeah.
and the Beedrill would actually put in a lot of work at that point.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because like if going into the tournament, like I don't think anyone would have predicted that the winning team would have no Licky Licky, no Spite Ops, no Kingdra. Like I thought Pato's team was like very good, but and like it makes sense and like I see why it worked, but based on like sort of like what the highest usage mons were, like I just don't think people would have predicted that exact winning combo, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was really well played though, and he made like very few mistakes. Colin played really well too, but even in the grand finals, like you could note like a few things that he could have maybe done a little bit better to make some of those series, some of the matches a little bit closer. Dude, I actually predicted the outcome of the grand finals. Kind of crazy. I was like, okay, I think Padma's going to 3-1 in the first best of 5, and then it will go to it'll either be a 3-0 from Padma in the reset, or it'll be go to straight 5 games and anyone can win on that 5th game. And that's exactly what happened. The latter is what happens, which is kind of insane.
So you wanna take over Marto's job? Is that?
Oh my gosh, dude! Speaking of Marto, dude. Okay, so we joked about this, right? Because he didn't predict Nighttime Clashers LAC run correctly. I think he said Nighttime will go like 4-2 or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he posted this back in October that Steiner would go top 4.
Yeah.
And Steiner goes top 4, like on the dot too. It's crazy. I was like, what? And I took a screenshot and posted on Twitter, but I think people thought that I meant like Podemon, like how did he make it to another losers finals, right? So everyone thought that's what I was talking about. I was like, well, I don't want to like kill people's like.
I think it was a mix. I think I could like some people could tell that you were
No, some people definitely understood the reference, yeah, because
like
quote tweeted his tweet too from October 13th.
Yeah.
You just have to check the quote tweets that he's responding to Steiner.
But then there was a few other people that were just like, "Oh, well, duh, like Pato's amazing." And it's like that's not the point.
And I was like, "Well, that's not untrue. So I like your comment, but that's really not what I'm talking about." I was like, Kevin Saladar's like, "Bro is built different." I was like, I think you're talking about Pato here. You're not talking about Marto being built different on his psychic reads, but I guess technically it could go the other way around too. So, anyway, what a crazy, what a crazy prediction.
Pato was just like playing, like you said, like Colin played really well, but Pato I just felt like was on another level. Like he was just so locked in, like playing so clean. Like maybe one misplay at most. I'm still not sure if like him shielding that like body slam on his like Spirit Tomb that one game made sense or not, but
I think it made sense because Colin had the earthquake, but he didn't throw the earthquake. So
no, I don't think Colin had it. I think he was one off.
I'm almost positive he had it, but I could be misremembering. I'll have to go back and see. I could have sworn he made like I was like, that's actually the right play, but Colin didn't do the right play, which actually could have cost him. But you still got the shield from Pod. I don't know. Anyway,
that was like maybe the only misplay I saw from Pato in like the entire grand finals and reset.
I wouldn't say that's the only misplay, but that was definitely. I'm pretty sure he had the earthquake, which is why I don't even count that as a misplay. It's more of like he could capitalize on Colin's mistake there, but like Colin should have just done the earthquake there and he just wins, right? But I'm pretty sure he wouldn't throw a body slam without even being at earthquake energy. Like he's against Podemon, right? But I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but like I don't know, the Spirit Tomb was like so low and I don't think he was gonna get to an earthquake, so but regardless, Pato was just so locked in and like one thing I was gonna say is like something that I found really interesting about this meta is that there were so many like stat changing moves that it made like the battles like very interesting because like that's a whole nother like layer the players had to like think about because you have like Fell Stinger on Beedrill, you have Rock Tomb on Spirit Tomb, you have Rock Tomb and Lunge on Spite Ops, you have the Icy Wind on Seeking, you have Wrap on Milotic, you have I'm probably for Lunge on Ariados, I guess, so that was less popular. probably some power up punch Grimmsnarls, and then you have like a chance of a crunch debuff. So like there was a lot of stat changing moves, which like and again, especially because we have this shorter switch timer too, I feel like it just made the games like more interesting and dynamic because there was like more factors to consider and like more possible win cons in terms of like clearing debuffs or like boosting yourself or like trying to lock your opponent in with only one Pokemon and like debuffing them and different stuff like that. I thought it made it very interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, really great tournament in my mind, and yeah, big congrats to Padawan for defending his title and solidifying himself as, in my mind, the best player in the world right now. Beelzebub Boy was there
Well,
too. He got like a top 8 finish, I think, right? So still really
yeah,
good.
he got 8th place, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Man, I think the brothers, Nighttime Clasher and Sussex Eater, both got top 8 as well, which was pretty impressive.
It's funny because like Championship Sunday was all Europeans, but I think that was the only 3 Europeans in the top 8. And the rest of the top 8 was all non-NA. Or non-Europe, I mean. Because you
Yeah,
had Steiner at 4, and then you had like
Rise was there too.
Yeah, I mean it's international Z's are quite actually international too, which is kind of nice to see all the like the crossover, right?
Yeah. So 5 through 8, you had Nighttime Clasher and Rice tied for 5th, and then Beelzebub and Sustenance Eaters tied for 7th.
Yeah. Potamon actually faced Colin and his brother, which is kind of interesting. And he didn't have a chance to face both Nighttime and Sustenance Eater, but there was a small chance for that too. Actually, that would have been funny. If Nighttime beat Sinnoh, then that would have happened too.
And the one thing I liked about the meta is like, yeah, it's a limited meta and it is like more condensed than like OGL, but there was still like diversity and variety. And like, even if like people were facing off and like sometimes there was only maybe like, you know, a couple differences between their teams, but like that still, you know, makes, you know, pressure points and, you know, makes certain Pokemon stronger or weaker for each of the players.
Yeah.
So I thought that was definitely, you know, interesting to see as things played out.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this felt like way faster and more flexible than the LAIC meta. Like that could sometimes get to a really clunky place, you know, with some of those Turtonator matchups and Oranguru matchups. But like,
yeah,
these battles were quick.
Yeah, for sure. Final tournament of the season is just Seattle, right? There's nothing else happening this weekend.
Yeah.
Nope.
What do you think the odds are?
Is there a tournament during LATAM during the Seattle weekend or no?
No.
Oh, it's literally just Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think what do you think the odds are that the update will be live in Seattle?
It's a possibility. I mean, smoother gameplay's nice. I will say the update also does not favor people that use more fast attack strategies. Because if DRE is consistently going to be a thing, then that means that Pokemon that use more charge attacks will get more charge attacks off.
Yeah.
And that could change things. Like, I was thinking about one example. Is I don't think Bassa even beats Togekiss in the 2 shields anymore. Because I think like the final Orsphere, the 4th Orsphere, like didn't go off before because you get taken out on the SmackDown, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I love this. I love this for me.
For you? Just you?
for everyone.
Me and my birds.
I feel like you used the fastest attack pressure team once, Kaz. I don't know.
No.
Never?
No.
Never?
I joked about taking one to Merida, but I didn't do it.
Yeah. Will D and Steve going to be in shambles after this one.
I know, right? I was like, I know someone else who has, though, and he's on this podcast.
I do think that it's, personally speaking, I'm actually in favor of it, too. It doesn't even matter if I use Bastion and stuff. Like, I actually think it's better for the game. Honestly, I'd also be okay if they laid it out and said there is never DRE. Like, fast attack always take priority. I would be okay with that as well. It's just the annoying thing right now is it's inconsistent. It's one or the sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes DRE happens, sometimes it doesn't, right? I'm honestly, I'd be okay either way with how it goes as long as it consistently works the way it should, you know?
Yeah. No, and I think that was everybody's problem. Is just that you couldn't rely on the same set of skills consistently every game.
Yeah.
But now, in theory, you should be able to. So, also in theory, this should alleviate a lot of very high level player complaints that we see after almost every single regional tournament.
Yeah, I saw Doombug was tweeting some complaint earlier. I'm not really sure what that was about though, about LAIC. But no one else really said anything, I think, to it. So I'm
Wait,
not really
about
sure.
what?
Doombug tweeted something about like is like, oh, fix the game or something, like at LAIC or at UIC. I'm not sure what happened though.
Oh, okay. You said LEIC, and I got
Sorry,
like
sorry,
so
sorry.
confused what you were
UIC.
referring
Sorry,
to.
I said the wrong thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he was. That's more of an anomaly. I mean, maybe something did happen, but I didn't really follow up on that. But I think for the most part, though, everything tends to work as intended, which is good. Okay, well, let's hop down to the YouTube comments because running low, a little bit lower on time right now, and we don't have any Gen comments, but we do have a couple YouTube comments. So JGN clarified. So the Dracovis Day 2 graphics were meant to level the playing field for Day 2 action so that everyone knows everyone's team, which I do appreciate. I'm sure a lot of players do too. The Merida graphic was error, nothing nefarious. Rocha had a glaring motion set of Furret. Oh, that's actually a big difference. So, Paul Garcia, Shadow Merak instead of Shadow Malamar. We tried to piece together the graphic from the unofficial broadcast, but took many more screenshots than normal since there was only 3 Pokemon used in the battle shown rather than the full 6. And then also had to ask people for teams, and then also asked tournament staff to fill any remaining holes in the graphic. Santiago was solely sourced from someone who knew the players. Ice Chris had a glaring Moltres instead of Altaria. Memmy had a Florida instead of Azumarill. I would think if you were purposely throwing off your opponents, you'd have more changes than 1 out of 6 Pokemon difference who share a similar role/typing. The situation is quite unfortunate because it largely affects the Lat team events where there's basically no coverage for them. Yeah. I think like unless like we know for sure it's like something nefarious, like it's probably like still a little hasty to assume such things.
Mm-hmm.
I know Marto, Corlash and Ash tweeted about those things, but again, like they could be like it's not like my place to say how they should feel about it, right? But they could still have the facts wrong too, right? It could be the case or not. Obviously it's like a repeat offender, then that would be a different story, right? If it's like the same person's always having like something slightly wrong in the graphic for some reason, right? But yeah, we'll see how they address it in the future. When a tournament starts, you can see their team list, no, on Arcanine.
No,
You can't.
No.
Arcanine has to actually publish the team lists.
Yes.
So you see it after the tournament is done?
Well, you see it whenever Arcanine publishes the lists.
So they do publish it though.
Yes, but when
but when they
varies.
it's not
So
always after day one.
like EUIC, they posted it at the end of day 1.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at that when I was making my licky graphic, yeah.
But for a lot of regionals, it often doesn't get posted until Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Like after it's over.
Yeah. I wonder if that's something that, I mean, Dracovis is like a third-party org, so it's not like they could really work something out, but maybe if they have contacts, they could work something out with like TPCI to like have Arcanine publish it ahead of time. I don't know. I mean, it's not even just for Dracovis; it's for the players, right? Like that should be something that would help the players out, even if
like
graphic.
I would think Dracovis, regardless.
Yeah.
Like I would think in an ideal world, RK9 should be publishing the team list, in my opinion, at least by the end of day 1, because again, not everyone even knows about Dracoviz.
Yeah,
like,
true. Yeah.
What if you make day 2, you don't know Dracoviz exists, and there's no RK9 lists?
Most people wouldn't know about RK9 lists either if they didn't know about Dracoviz. But yeah,
well, you have
to, yeah,
maybe I don't know, but like I would think that at least by the end of day 1, so there's a level playing field for day 2. But like, I feel like there would even be some merit to posting it like earlier during the day 1, because it's like obviously the gap isn't as big as it was before, but like there's still the case of like if someone's on stream early, like their opponent could ask what the team was and like be able to prep a little bit more than like the other person, because like those team lists aren't posted, and like obviously there's no like perfect system, but like the earlier you're able to post those team lists, like the more of a level playing field you create.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Hopefully that's something that they take into account. I don't know what will happen for the next Latin tournaments, but
But yeah,
or what
if
Jacob has decided to do.
if but yeah, like I would say though that like to anyone who like would like to see like Arcanine posting lists, sooner and more consistently, like submit support tickets, because like the more support tickets they see, like the more likely they are to take it seriously and like maybe try to find a solution for this. So just want to mention that.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you don't do it, like I was thinking about this too after our last episode. If Dracovis doesn't post a graphic at all, right? Because they want to make sure the data is accurate and they don't have necessarily the tools to verify it, and it's not on Arcanine, obviously, like after day one, then it's still it's not like it's an even playing field after that. Like players that are well connected, they might be like, hey, like you battled Twastell earlier. What team was he using, right? What was his moveset? What was this stuff, right? Like you can get information if you're like well connected, whereas players that
Yeah.
were not well connected will have a disadvantage off of that. Like that's kind of like how the old like thing was before open team sheets, where you could like figure out someone's moveset
Yeah.
if they weren't on stream, be like, hey, like what moveset were they running, blah blah blah, right? But like some people don't know that stuff, and like it was never really it's supposed to said like it's against the rules to share that, right? So
Yeah.
people just try to tap into the resources they have, and yeah.
Right, and that's a big reason I think like one of the main reasons that I think we even switched to open team sheets was to like eliminate some of that like scouting factor and like the factor of like who's more connected.
Mhm.
But then obviously it's still not completely gone with situations like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Rushworth says, my favorite Pokemon nowadays is Steelix. I don't remember what it was when I was a kid. I'm a Gen 1, Gen 2 player. I have played later games, but not as familiar with the newer ones before they came to Pokemon Go. I just tried to take a picture with my favorite. It crashed my app.
Yeah. Not a perfect system.
Yeah. Yeah. Blind Craziness says, you would be hard pressed to find Articuno first. It requires going to an optional area and solving a strength puzzle. Zapdos is obtained in the power plant as soon as you get there with Surf. The one you're most likely to stumble upon is Moltres in Victory Road. Okay. I definitely have not played the Gen 1 games in a long time to remember any of this stuff. I'm curious as a kid if I even got that part. Like I was kind of like
Here's the thing.
slow on the uptake.
The way I play, and this goes for like all video games, the way I play is like I will like do everything that is available to me in an area when I get there. Like that's the same way I play Zelda, that's the same way I play, and that's why like some of the more recent Pokemon games have gotten just a little more frustrating for me to play, is because like I literally have the mentality of like I must collect all the things that are right here, I must talk to all the people, I must do so to say that you'd be hard pressed to find Articuno verse is like no. That's how I play.
Oh, yeah.
Like I will solve this puzzle, damn it.
Angels of Palos says, how many cats can you fit on the next Battle Cats T? We might fit all three.
All of them.
We should draw them to size, to scale though. How many pounds a minute again?
Like 8.
That's not that much lighter. Actually, my cats are like 9 and like 11 or so. So
he's so small.
Every
time I take him to the vet, they're like,
one on the shirt.
Yeah, every time I take him to the vet, they're like, he should probably gain some weight. I'm like, he has literally always been this small. Like, he is just a small creature.
Yeah. Tiny cats. All right, and the last comment from Artemis Dragon: can we start a coordinated campaign on social media, force a Lickitung event? I feel like I'm the only person without Great League Licky. What are y'all rocking? I think I got kind of lucky. I think I caught like a rank 2 or something randomly. Like a few months ago, but for the most part, yeah, I didn't really have a great one.
Yeah,
they don't really spawn.
None of mine are. None of the Licky that I have are very good. It's just what I happen to have that can be under 1500 CP.
That's again my issue with this game, is that it's not accessible in the sense that like if you want to play this meta, right, this upcoming meta, you can't get a Licky. They don't spawn the wild, right? Like I think that's the issue, right? They're just like certain spawns are just not available. Whereas like in the main series game, you could just go travel to somewhere else in the Pokemon world and then
Yeah,
get it, right? And
you
build
kind
yourself
of
a competitive
know
team.
where Pokemon are going to be in the main series games. So you can just go there until you find one. And if you go there and you don't find one, you just sort of wait, go back later, or there are various options to like reset it and recheck it.
Yeah.
So you can't do that in a game that relies on you wandering around the
That's
real world.
That's why I say like this update, this PvP update, I don't think it's like really to bring new players in. You know, maybe it might a little bit, but like for the most part, I'm pretty sure this is just to keep like the current players happy, right? Because this is not something that newer players are struggling with. They're struggling to build the team necessary to even compete.
Well, yeah, they're struggling to build the team, and then they're struggling to like just like learn the basics and like improve, right? Like a newer player is more likely to lose a game because of their own misplay than they
they're not
are
going to know what
because
DRE is, you know. They're not going to know
right,
what
like
turns are. Some of our better players don't even know, like can't even catch on to that.
Right, but like yeah, like a newer player, like even if they get DRE, they're probably not losing that game because of DRE. There's probably like 5 other places in that battle that they could have done something differently. And like this is no hate on newer players. It's just the simple fact of like there's a learning curve in this game, and like unless you're like Pato Man, you're gonna make misplays. Like
yeah, exactly. I mean, and even Pottermon will make some misplays here or there, you know.
Oh, for sure.
That happens too. So you know, no one's immune to this.
But yeah, it is weird. Like I feel like it's been a hot minute since we had a Lickitung event, but I feel like we've had a ton of Lickitung events before that.
Yeah,
well, it used to be much more heavily featured when it was relevant to PvP. Like we had them as a regional spawn at tournaments for a little while. So the fact that it's kind of fallen out of like Lickitung itself fell out of relevancy means that we have not had an increased presence of it. But maybe we'll get one soon because of the rise of Licky Licky in so many metas, but I don't know. I mean, EUIC we probably won't see again, so
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, probably not. I would still like I've enjoyed both the USC and LAC metas in GBL, and I would like kind of hope they would like bring those back at some point. Like instead of like the like I don't know, like Sunshine Cup that we have like 50 times a year, like instead of doing that, like give us UIC again, you know?
But Tristan, then they'd have to actually name them. Like, then they'd have to name them something so that we can keep them separate.
No, you just have to guess what it is. Good luck.
They just show you the logo and you're like, oh no.
It's the Championship Series Cup. Better guess which one it is.
You know the one.
Also, quick note, Anacord just said in Battle Frontier, he said, it seems that some players have the new PvP on trainer battles and it's quite unplayable. Could this be, he said, I don't think there's any reasonable way to play matches in this state.
Oh, do you think they'll postpone it? I wouldn't mind if they postponed this week.
Wait, which channel is that in?
Captain Chat.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you a captain, or are you?
Yeah, but I don't get notifications.
Oh well, yeah. I think Tristan's just always on it, you know.
I don't have any push notifications from Discord at all.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. So you're just on it to see it.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. I will say my opponent is actually going to be in LA, so I almost thought about, hey, do you want to just play this in person at the Go Tour? But that might be a bad idea because the service might not be great. But we're on the same time zone at least, so we'll presumably be on the same update. But wait, but yeah, unplayable for people with the updates? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if there's other issues and bugs because it's still a new update and things like all the kinks haven't been ironed out, like
because
maybe
supposedly
it's not
even
ready
if
by Seattle.
Yeah, because supposedly even if you're playing against someone who has the update and you don't, you get it like by proxy.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious how that even goes. I was like, wouldn't the advantage significantly be on the side of the person with the update? But
I also don't know like how you could be like gifted it for this single battle, you know, basically. It's very strange. And I would think that that in itself might lead to more errors rather than two people who do have the update
Right.
confirmed
I
playing
yeah,
each other.
I've been wondering what happens if like someone with and without get matched up. Like, do they both end up on the new update, or do they both end up on the old update, or are they like one and one and things are like out of whack? Like, I have no idea. That's like something I've been curious about, and like haven't like gotten any sort of action, because like I've heard people saying it's like one on each, which like doesn't sound right to me, but like maybe that's just what's happening. I'm not sure. Um, but anyways, it sounds like the new update is causing some sort of problems, and it seems like at least some of the Europeans have gotten it now.
Mhm.
It's either
So
Europeans or it could be some of their Latin players because Team Pizza has a few Latin players.
oh, that's
So that's
true.
that's probably my guess on what he was referring to, unless Europeans got it too. I don't know, um, but yeah,
But yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the next week or two or
we
whatever.
shall. Yeah, we shall.
And also next week is next week is such a loaded week because we have like the Road to Kalos event, we have Pokemon Day,
Which day is
then
Pokemon Day?
I think it's next Friday,
Yeah, it's February 27th.
7th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Road to Kalos event, we have Pokemon Day, which will hopefully have a lot of big announcements across the board for Go and other games. And then we have Seattle Regional and Go Tour next weekend. And then either sometime next week or beginning of the following week, we should be getting like the GBL update and the new season updates and stuff like that. So like it's gonna be a whirlwind of Pokemon stuff in the next like 1 to 2 weeks.
Will we also have the finale to Kaz's Corner?
We'll have it before
Also,
that
wait,
that Johannesburg data is up for
I
sure.
was gonna say Niantic did a big PvP update before Johannesburg went up, so
Yeah.
Bro. And of course,
Bruv.
that bro
Bruv.
Anicore.
yeah, he owes me a mess for a bet. He owes me a mess for a bet, and then of course for
That's not
Bastion, just
happening.
yeah,
It's never happening.
he's
Guys,
a
I
soft
was
bro.
watching. I watched the Unite finals because it was on before Go, and one of the players, their name is Bruv.
Okay,
Just Bruv.
so no, it's Bruv HD.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, European play. But something I asked someone about recently, someone that's from the UK. I was like, all right, some of these slang terms I feel like don't make sense. I was like, what does peak mean to you? Because Anacor keeps using the word peak, right? And when he
Yeah.
says it's something bad, he's like, oh, that's peak.
Which
That's like
makes
really
no
bad. Makes no sense,
sense.
right? But I was like, maybe it's just like an English thing. I asked her, and she's like, "Oh, it means something really good." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Because a friend of mine always says it in a bad way." She's like, "Oh, he must be old then, because like these days, like people don't use like that." And she's like in her 20s, so I was like, "Bro, she called Anacor
Bruv.
a boomer, and he's using the term wrong." Because he's the only one I know that uses
Yeah.
peak like that. But I was like, I mean, I don't talk to a lot of people that are from the UK, so maybe like it's a thing, right? But no one else from the UK uses the word peak as often as he does. It's like his one of his go-to words. He's like, "Oh, bruv, that's peak, man. Bruv, you know what's so peak, right?" Like he'll just say it all the time. I used to be so confused, but now we have clarity.
Now we're even more confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never understood how peak meant bad. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see if Anchor still listen to podcasts to respond to this or not. But
Nope.
Bruv,
that's
he hasn't
gonna
responded in ages. I don't think he's listened to a single episode since he left.
yeah. Probably didn't even
Since
listen
before he joined.
probably didn't even listen to the singing one. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. Let us know your thoughts down below on the update, especially if you have it. I'm curious to hear about that. But again, congrats to Podmon for the crazy weekend finish and stat lines. And yeah, we'll see how Seattle goes and the Cal store goes as well. Hopefully Supermax is not available for Groudon, Kyogre, Gyarados, and stuff like that, because I do not have the Mega Energy. But until next week.
I mean, you might just want to play GBL Great League next week, anyways, to prep for Seattle,
Yeah.
right?
One would say that's a good idea, but I'm gonna dip into something mega massive league. Let's see. It's just Seattle, right? Okay, how many people are registered for Seattle? Let me just, out of curiosity, let me check. Any guesses from you two?
130.
180.
130, 180.
Yeah.
You're both off. It's 204.
204?
That's pretty good, right?
Jeez.
Maybe I should
It's
practice.
204, and Kaz and Steve still have to sign up, so that'll get to 206.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Bring mittens. We'll make it 207.
Absolutely not.
He might be more effective than some no-shows. In fact, if he faces a no-show, that's an instant win for him. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. And maybe I'll see some of you all at the Go Tour on Saturday. But hopefully, and if you're not playing it, then hopefully the global Go Tour goes well for you all. But yeah, lots of changes in this few days, so be on the lookout. But anyway, until then, we'll catch you all later. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.